hot. Don't speak to any moment. Product of her environment. Shout out the global woman. Can't box her in with any trend. Oh, she's a global woman. Call Fire Marshal Bill. Like, let me tell you something. Flawless, beautiful. Follow codes down to her toes. Cuticles, picking rolls with the flow. Slam dunking all the goals. Silvers for the novice and golds for the pros.
What's going on, everybody out there in TV land, on YouTube and on Facebook Live? We come to you tonight to interrupt your regular scheduled program. Hey, y'all, we got a hot topic. Hey, we got guests. They're ready to go. The phone lines are ready. Well, the phone lines might be ready. Give me a minute. It's gonna be ready. It's gonna be ready though. The mic is ready. We're about to get into this thing. But Facebook, we have a fight and argument every single week. I need y'all to do me a huge favor. I'm loving this y'all watching us on Facebook, but there is a link right in the chat section. Click that link and come watch us live on YouTube. All right? Do me a big favor. Just click that link. It's right there in the chat section and come and watch us live on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, click that like button. It's the thumbs up. Right there, circle right there, the thumbs up, and then slide on over and click the subscribe button. And make sure you push the all. So you get all the notification when we're going live, when we drop little videos, whatever we do. So click the like button, there's a thumbs up, slide over it, click the subscribe button, and press the all. And also share the video. Push share. All you got to do if you got social media, if you got Facebook, share the video and push Facebook. All right. Share it to Facebook. You got to do nothing else. Appreciate you guys. Also, we're doing something new. Every time we hit the 200 milestone mark with subscribers, we're going to the chat and find one or two people and send them a gift. But you must be a subscriber to participate. We almost there, y'all. We're about 15 people short of 200. We almost there. So subscribe today. Also, I need y'all to help me out get to the big time. I need y'all to click on my link, stopplaying.net. Click on my link. It's right in the chat section. Buy something for somebody else, buy something for yourself, or just support your boy. I'm trying to get to the big leads. All support is welcome, and I thank you for your support. So click on Stop Playing and check me out. Last but not least, if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, there's a QR code right on the screen. All monetary gifts are appreciated. We thank you in advance for your monetary gifts. We thank you for supporting us, but I understand if you cannot scan the QR code because you might be using your mobile device. Don't worry about that. We have a QR code, a cash tag. We have a cash tag. Our cash tag is $Nutz, Nutz. Boltz, it's $Nutz, Nutz, Boltz, BOLTZ1. Again, the cash tag is $Nutz, Boltz1. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for all you did, all you have done. And with that being said, my name is Edmund Chapman. I'm the CEO of Stop Playing Apparel, and I'm from South Carolina.
My name is Kyra from California.
And I'm Obi from North Carolina.
I'm Angel from North Carolina.
I'm Sheena from California.
And I'm Yasmin from South Carolina by way of Las Vegas.
By way of Las Vegas. I like it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So before we get the show started, I want to have Angel introduce what we're trying to do coming up. Angel, take the floor. Angel, go ahead.
Hey, y'all. So I was thinking, or we were thinking, instead of having a hot girl or a hot guy summer, why don't you find your hot girl or hot guy on our dating podcast that's coming soon? And if you're interested, hit up Ed or Sheena, DM them, and let us hook you up.
Yes, the Datum Edition show. And guess what? Angel, you say what you're doing. Angel is hosting this. Our very own Angel is hosting the Datum Addiction show. Yes, thank you, Angel, for that. Hey, before you get into the topic, we got to do something. We really got to do.
It's your story time.
The Mr. Rogers sweater, though? Wow.
Did you just go on my sweater?
Carol.
Oh,
I mean, what
it
Carol?
looks great. It looks
Mr.
great.
Rogers was a pedophile or something like that. Don't do me, Mr. Rogers, or something. So he got arrested for something.
He was a pimp. That's what he was.
He was a pimp. Hey.
I
So
don't think he was a pedophile.
Ed's story time, right? So we're gonna try to relate it to the topic tonight of hand. So have you ever been on a date with a guy or a gal, as they say in the South, gal, and then she's beautiful or he's handsome and everything is great, but they breath stink? You like, Lord have mercy. What in the world? You need a peppermint, you need a bubble gum, you need to brush your teeth, you need to goggle with Listerine. I've been on one of them dates before. I was like, this woman is too pretty to breath smell like, I don't want to say what she smell like, Kyra, but you know what she smell like. I said, what in the world possessed you to come out on a date and your breath smell like hot trash? So with that being said, hey, Obi, introduce today's topic, because I don't want to go on about this hot breath. Go ahead, Obi.
First of all, I just want to say thank God I ain't never had to date nobody with hot breath. So tonight's topic is, what are some of the flaws that you see while dating? And we've kind of touched this topic before, but we really didn't talk about it like we should have. So we want to talk about it and see how you guys feel about it.
So what are some of the flaws when dating? Like, what did you see that make you say, ugh, I'll pass that breath. Ugh, I'll pass that hair. You know how they got the nappy hair nowadays? I don't know if y'all like that, ladies, but ugh. So Kyra, I'm gonna throw it to you and let you put it.
Or natural hair.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Say that again, Kyra. I missed it.
You know how they have the nappy hair?
Yeah, if you
What
look
does
at
that mean?
like if you look at like on NBA, right? You look at
talking about
KD,
men?
you look KD hair, you look at the nappy dreads, the nappy, the nappy
Talking
hair.
about men hairstyles?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, y'all women got some, but go ahead, Kyra, throw the first one out. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Cause y'all ain't, everybody here right now is laid down, but Obi know what I'm saying, Obi feel me on this one.
I don't think there's anything wrong with women having natural hair, but we're not.
No, I said nappy hair, not natural hair. It's a difference.
Right, but
Not
you might
nappy, it's called textured.
Thank you.
Look at Angel hair, nice and laid, fried and laid inside. Sheena D looking good up there. Look at Yasmin with the little braids looking good. Kyra, you got the twisty. Everybody looking good tonight.
Wait a minute.
Everybody looking fabulous tonight. You know what I'm saying? But it's some women and some men. It's more men than women, I would say. They got the like the KD look and stuff like that, and the nappy hair, like the NFL, the NBA players be rocking. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Kyra. Throw the first one out there, Kyra. Throw the first one out there. I'm gonna give you the ball.
It's called textured.
What, the guys here?
Guys, girls, it's textured. Now they just allowed their texture to get a little naughty, but it's not nappy.
So wait a minute, Kyra, before you go. So naughty is not nappy?
No, it's a texture. It's a curl pattern.
Oh,
Now y'all know what
girls
y'all
we called it BDBs back in the day. When you can see the little ball patches in the head, we call that BDBs.
Kitchen.
Them your peoples.
Oh.
Just because you don't got none and probably are incapable of growing some. I just was wondering, you can't be out here talking about other folks who are embracing their textured hair.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead, Kyra. Throw the first one out there because Obi don't agree, but I know. Go ahead. Kyra.
Okay, The first question is, what are some common character flaws that should be considered kind of like a red flag when you're dating someone? And today's topic is character flaws, like when dating. So not specifically red flags, but they can be connected to each other.
So, Kyle,
So
you pretty much talking about like when you might give them draws, but they did something like they cut off now because
like
something they
it
did.
could be bad breath. She's a baddie that meets your description, and she might have some emotional intelligence, but that's more of a physical flaw, like her breath. She might have, I don't know what that breath thing is called. I know
Halitosis.
halitosis. She might have that, or she could be musty because there's another something that has to do with not smelling. But like characteristic, we can talk physical or characteristic flaws, but like flaws that you see that are on a date when you're dating someone.
Well, I think one flaw would be if I'm on a date with a lady, we just like a chill date. Maybe we might be going to bowling bounce. That's a bowling alley down here in Carolina, and she comes to the date with dirty shoes on. I think that would be a flaw for me because I don't wear dirty shoes, and I see a woman with dirty shoes. I'm like, if her shoes dirty, her underwear might be dirty, and her house might be dirty. So that's a flaw for me.
Wow. Okay.
I have a question. I mean, is it a complete turnoff if it's something that can be fixed? Or is that something, I mean, what if she didn't have, would you rather her be late to the date? Like maybe she didn't have time to go home and get changed. She coming from work and it's like what she had on was still like suitable, but maybe she wanted to change her shoes because of her job and like was like, I didn't want to be late, so I came. Please excuse. Like, would you give her another one, or is that an automatic? Like, that's it. She doesn't get a second chance.
You out of there. If you could easy call me or text me and be like, you know what, this guy for work. Can we push it back an hour? It's all about communication. No, this is the whole point of Nuts and Boltz about healthy communication. So it's all about that communication. Don't come with no dirty clothes or dirty shoes because you just came off of work. Yeah, out of there. First impression, I'm gonna come looking good because like I told you about my date I had before. I went home, took a shower, changed my clothes. I went presentable. Even if you're going on a little bowling date or you're going on a little ice cream or stuff we talked about before, I think you should come presentable. Don't come with like dirty clothes and dirty shoes on. That's just my take. I don't know, Obi, what you think?
Depending on the situation, I might give you another chance. But to answer the question, for me, a flaw would be like, I need to check your social intelligence. I need to see what the type of things you talk about, life situations, how you react when you're mad, like what brings you joy. Like the physical stuff, that stuff dies down. But I just want to see who you are as a person. Being late, it's not a deal breaker, and I can deal with that because I might be late one day. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be late, but I might be late one day. So I'm gonna hope that you give me the grace and mercy that I give you.
But we ain't talking about late. Oh, we talking about dirty shoes and clothes.
That's what you're talking about, Ed.
Hey, back up off Ed now. Hold on. Hey, you ain't about to bash Ed.
So that we're all on the same page. It's basically like an imperfection or a challenge that someone is bringing with them. And it could have to do with their personality traits. It could have to do with past experiences, because some people from old relationships have baggage or different things. It could be habitual behaviors like being late, lying, not keeping your word, different things like that.
Shoes don't do anything for me. I have nice shoes, don't get me wrong, but I don't look down on a person's shoes because it could be rainy, you could have stepped in the mud and not know. No. That's Ed's thing. That's not my thing.
Right. Sheena and Yasmin, what are y'all's thoughts on this?
So for me, I would say inconsistent communication. Like communication is very important when you're dating. Just so you know, you're understanding one another, you're understanding where you are within the dating process. So communication is very big. And if there's like flaws or inconsistency in that communication, that's a flag.
So is it like flaws where like maybe he thought he was getting off of work or he thought he was free, schedule conflict got messed up, something like that? Like would you be giving grace on that?
Okay, so I can give a prime example. Let's just say you set up a date. You say, meet at this restaurant 7 p.m. and it is 6 o'clock and there's no word from you. It's 6:30, there's no word from you, and you're picking up your date. 7 o'clock, there's no word from you. It's the next day and it's like afternoon and it's like, oh, sorry, I got held up at work or something like that, or some other type of excuse. You couldn't call or send a text to communicate that. That is inconsistent communication. That's an example.
Before you ask me, Sheen, I got a question for you. I got a real life situation that happened to me. Obi know it. So, okay, Sheena, say me and you set up a date, right? I say, Sheena, do you want to go to Applebee's or Lone Star? I'm just naming places, whatever. You say, man, let's go to Lone Star. I said, all right, we'll meet there at 7 p.m. Right? And so I forget to, so I'll say we meet at 7 p.m. You said, okay. I didn't say nothing back to you. I didn't communicate nothing back to you. Would you still be there at 7 p.m. that day?
So you asked, you set a time, you both agreed upon it?
I asked you what you want to go, Longhorn or Applebee's. You said Longhorn. I said, all right, we meet there at 7 o'clock. And that's the last thing you heard from me. Like, okay, we'll meet there at 7 o'clock. Would you be there at 7 o'clock that day, whatever day we set it up for?
Yes, because that was the plan.
So I had something that happened to me, and she said, well, when she texted back and said, okay, I never text back after she said okay. So I went to the restaurant and she didn't show up because she said I never text back and said okay. What y'all ladies think about that? Was that my fault? Is that a flaw on me?
Well, that's a lack of communication on her end because she should have communicated if she wasn't going to be able to make it, and vice versa.
No, she said I didn't communicate. She said she texted back okay, and I didn't text back nothing after she texted back. So she said, yeah, we're gonna go to this place. I said I gave her two options, right? And she said, okay, let's go to this option. It's closer to whatever. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, cool. We can meet there at 10 o'clock. And I didn't text back. If she texted back okay or something, she texted back. I didn't say nothing after that. Because my mind,
I feel like you should have closed the loop and said, I'm looking forward to seeing you or see you.
So it was on me. So it was on me then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I just wondering. Was it on me or was it on her? Go ahead, Angel.
I don't know that I completely agree. I feel like you guys agreed on a time and a place, and she said, okay. And that really could have gone either way. You could have said, okay, great, see you. However, I think if it was me, I would be like, oh, I'm showing up at 7 o'clock because we agreed. He put that out there and he said, but I do know that sometimes people feel like because you don't text back, but I think the only thing that might have been a misunderstanding is if you put that time and stuff out there and then she didn't say okay, and then you didn't show up and she did, then you could say, well, I didn't know if that was okay with you because you didn't agree. You didn't say okay. So I think it could have gone either way, but I don't necessarily think that was just your fault, because just as easy as you could have said, hey, great, see you there. She could have said, if she just wasn't for sure, she could have said, so are we good? I'm like, oh yeah, I thought we agreed. Yeah. So
and that was my thought process. Because once we said the place and I said the time, I was in Chicago. I literally was doing other things. I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about texting back. I'm like, we got the place and we got the time. So is that we talking about flaws? So ladies, would that be a flaw on me, ladies? So we talking about flaws. Be honest with me. Yasmin, what you got?
Didn't wrap it up. My thing is that's not wrapping it up. My thing is you should be the first to suggest and you should be the first to wrap it up. You didn't wrap it up. At the end of the day, it's okay. She's just confirming she's okay. But yeah, you setting the time. Yeah, I'm interested. Okay. And like I forgot Kyra, you should have said yeah. See you later. Something like that. You should have wrapped it up, made it clear, made it precise, made it make so it wouldn't be mistaken.
And I'm gonna
Now
tap in. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna tap into what the people in the comments were saying, but Sheena was gonna say something. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Yasmin.
Oh yeah, I just
Hold
had
on, Sheena. Hold on, Sheena. Before you go to say, hold on, Sheena. So everybody, Facebook, we about to get it. We about to really get into this thing. Y'all know what I do. If y'all want to see the rest of this episode, there is a link right in the chat section. It's the same thing watching on Facebook. Just click the link and watch it on YouTube. Ain't no different. I'm gonna tune off. Click that link. I'm gonna put it again. If y'all don't know, or y'all can scroll up. Click the link and watch it live on YouTube. Sheena about to go deep. Go ahead, Sheena.
No, it's just more so a question because you just made a comment. You say you were doing other things, so you weren't thinking about replying back. But if this is someone you're interested in and you're trying to set up a date, why wouldn't you think about following up with her? That's a lack of communication. And you just verbalized it. You said I was off doing something else. I wasn't thinking about it. Like, does she not deserve that? Is this, someone you're really interested in getting to know and you're dating with purpose? Or so it's just a question.
He just chilling.
Well, before I know Karen get to the comments and they already in there going crazy.
And Angel
So
had
I
something
just
to
felt
say
like
too.
Once I gave you the option, like we just did the little scenario, and you said Applebee's. I'm just using these two. I would never go to Applebee's ever. But you said Applebee's. I said, cool. Applebee's at 10. I mean at 7. To me, that is solidifying what we're gonna do that day or the next day. And so I didn't think about it when you text back and say okay to say okay back. Like you said okay and say to text back okay. Like I didn't, and I like all you ladies. I like y'all comment out of Yasmin's and Sheena and Angel said it could be both ways. I get it. And it was just a little simple like date. It wasn't like it was just I don't know. It was just a simple little meetup or
To
whatever.
me, exactly. And it was nothing and it sounds like it was nothing. My thing is, that shouldn't even be a conversation. That's why I guess you're not seeing her anymore. Because somebody you're really interested in, communication is precise. The okay is not just an ending. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, at the end of the day, first of all, let me back up. You say you wouldn't do Applebee's. Come on, let's stop that. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, I feel like if you're interested, that's like us saying we don't do Cheesecake Factory. Ain't nothing wrong with Applebee's, but nonetheless, if you're interested in somebody, your communication is going to be you're going to double text. You want clear, precise, understanding. My thing is, and I don't know how your communication outside of the date was, but if that date didn't pan out to be, I guess your communication wasn't clear as day anyway. And I'm sorry, I didn't Sheena, Sheena, if it was somebody you were truly interested in, communication would have been exactly what you wanted it to be. You wouldn't even be telling us this story. You just wasn't interested. You was like, if she shows, she don't, she don't.
I want to get Obi. I want to get Obi. Hold on, I want to Obi come out the Angel because I call Obi. Then you go to the comments, because we're gonna be on this all night. So the Angel go. Then
it's already been all night.
You're right. Go ahead, Angel. Go ahead.
I guess I'm going to have to challenge all of it because I don't really see it as a lack of communication. I feel like, and I just feel like for me, if I said okay, I would not be looking for a guy not responding back to me after I say okay, because to me, it'd be no different if he called me and said, hey, do you want to go here? And I say yes. Now, granted, you're having a conversation on the phone. So of course you're going to do all of like the preliminaries and post-liminaries by saying, all right, cool. See you there. But I also feel like not thinking about it or being busy does not necessarily mean not interested. It just means like, oh, let me go ahead and get this sent right back real quick. Now, I do think maybe, Ed, the only thing you probably could have done is maybe like right before, like, hey, kind of like see you soon, to make sure that she's coming. But I don't really think that at that time, just me personally, I don't think it was warranted. I don't think it was a lack of communication either. I think that you communicated the way you felt like you needed to. And then we have to also understand, like, you don't want to start something. I understand over communicating and things like that, but you don't want to start something that you can't keep up the rest of the relationship. If, to your understanding, you set a time and a date and she agreed to it. And so you expected to see her at that time because she said, okay. And so that's just the way that I view that.
Yeah, in my opinion, and this is what I share. This is what I shared with Ed today. He told me, like you just said, Angel, you set a date and a time. We're gonna meet at Applebee's, 3:00. She said, okay. They're not in a relationship, so I don't think he owed her anything. Applebee's, 3:00. Okay, that's a date or a situation or whatever it is. If that was his girlfriend, I'm pretty sure they would have communicated more. That was his spouse, I know they would have communicated more. But just a friend, I think he did what he was supposed to do. Because had he done more, she possibly could have looked at him more, and expected more. He did the right thing, in my opinion. Yeah, Kyra, go ahead and say what you want to say.
I'm gonna read the comments because we've been on this question for 15 minutes. Or this scenario. There are mixed feelings in the comments. So some people say that she was wrong. Some people say that you could have done something differently. And one person I like says that both are at fault, which I can kind of see. I see it both ways. There is also someone that stated texting is a terrible way to communicate, especially early in a relationship. And then another person said, just pick up the phone and talk. This never would have happened. And to that, Ed, your initial question was, is that a flaw that I have in terms of that you didn't close the loop? For me, just texting in a dating atmosphere, that is a character flaw. I'm not trying to text message somebody all the time. I want to be able to have either an in-person conversation or a conversation on the phone so that I can hear your voice, you can hear my tone, and different things like that. That to me is, I'm not trying to date somebody that is only texting. That's a turnoff.
That's all the comments, Kyra?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Someone else said the Applebee's apps and dollar margaritas. And then someone else said that they don't eat at Applebee's either. But I don't see anything wrong with Applebee's. That's me.
It was just a scenario comes from Chicago. That's all right. So we're gonna move on to the next question. How should I address a partner's character flaw that is bothering me without causing conflict? Again, how should you address a partner's characteristic flaw that is bothering you without causing conflicts? I want to go Yasmin first. Yeah, let's see what you got to say, Yasmin. And then Kyra, I see you, Kyra. Go ahead, Kyra. You go first. Let Yasmin think about it. Go ahead, Kyra.
So for me, I went on a date with somebody. We had been talking through text message. And so when we're on the date, I said, so do you talk on the phone? And what's the timeout for?
Because you about to say you don't do text messages. You just said it, but never mind. Go ahead.
I'm not interested in having that type of relationship. I'm not saying I've never engaged in having communication through text message. So we went on the date, and during the date, I asked him about the text messaging and said, we haven't talked on the phone. And that's when he let me know that he doesn't like talking on the phone and that he prefers to text. And then he was like, and then sometimes if you're holding it in your ear, then your neck starts hurting. And I was like, okay. I like talking. I didn't verbalize this, but in my head, it's like, I like talking on the phone. And so that flaw in me doesn't work out. That was our first and last date. He's still an amazing guy, but I need like a different type of communication style for me. So I didn't address it per se, like to ask him to change, because he is who he is and it's not my job to change you. But I accepted it for what it was and knew it's okay to walk away because that doesn't work for me. Anyone else? Sheena?
So I think it depends on how the person receives what you're trying to communicate to them, because if they're defensive, it might automatically turn into, a conflict, even though you're just expressing yourself. It just depends on the person on the opposite end being, open to receiving what you're saying. So like for a prime example, there was a situation where communication was off with someone. It was just like days without communicating, but they had made plans. And so it was kind of like, okay, you made plans to do this, that, and the other, but there was no communication from you. It was just like, I'm not sure if you're, okay, or if there's something wrong, but like, could you just like let me know if you're not going to follow through with plans? And from jump, they got defensive, like as if they were like hiding something or in the wrong. And it automatically turned into a conflict when I was just expressing, concerns and how I felt. So I think it just depends on how the person receives what you're saying to them. And as long as you're expressing that's how you feel and you're not accusing them, I feel like it shouldn't be a conflict. It should just be an adult conversation.
Sheena, so was that like a flaw to you? Was that like a turn off? Did you like I ain't dealing with this? He got upset for no reason with a blah blah blah. Like, how did you deal with that after he went that next step?
Yeah, so it was a couple of different things. One, it was almost like a ghosting, and then two, it's like you're being defensive and immature for no reason, essentially. So I mean, yeah, those are flaws. So you let them cool off, or at least I did. And then it's just like, when you're ready to communicate, I am here and open to communicating, but I won't be treated that in that way. I won't be yelled at. I won't be disrespected. So if they don't, respect me, there's no reason to continue our conversation. And so at that point, the ball is in their court.
So you actually gave this guy, and I want to like, I'm not trying to get into your personal business, but you actually gave this guy another chance, even though he pretty much disrespected you or got mad. So you still was willing to give him another chance after if he was able to calm down. He was that good of a guy. He was able to like, all right, if you were able to calm down and talk like adults, we could do this. So it wasn't a total flaw for you or a turn off for you.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that if it's not like too severe, I'll give you another shot. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you can work through and give somebody another chance. If it's, a communication problem, of course, I'm going to give you another shot. But if you come at me violently, no.
Anybody want to tap into this question?
Yeah, I think for me, the first thing that, depending on the situation and who she or he is, you got to pray about it and think about what you want to say and how you should say it and look for guidance. The second part is you got to be patient, because just because you bring something up doesn't mean that the other person is going to change. Then you got to be transparent. Tell them how you really feel about it and hope that they'll change. And I think the last thing you got to do is be committed to it. Because if you see an issue with somebody, you have to be committed to your stance that hopefully you can change whatever that flaw is.
Wait, say that last part, Obi. Wait, I'm kind of confused.
You have to be committed to what you're bringing up to that person.
Okay.
Like if you like somebody that got bad shoes, you have to stand on 10 toes. Hey, you got to change the shoes. I'll go buy you some shoes if I have to. But you got to stand on that.
Anybody else want to tap into this before we go to the next question?
And I'm gonna hit the comments for this section before we go to the next question. So one person said, "Wise move, Kyra. If he won't give you the respect of a simple conversation, lose his number. And then another person said, if expressing how something makes you feel will cause conflict, then that's not the right person for you. You can disagree as well. What's the next question?
All right. The next question is, what are some flaws that you miss in previous relationships that you should have caught, but you kind of missed in the beginning? I guess we could say in the beginning. You saw them, but you might have bypassed the flaws in the beginning. You missed them. And then later on, or after the relationship was over, you're like, dang, I did see that in the beginning, but he was fine, or she had a body, or yada, yada, yada. So what are some of the flaws you miss in previous relationships? Yeah, okay, Sheenie smiling. Go ahead, Sheenie smiling. Go ahead.
Like nobody else was going, and it was just like coming to remembrance. But for me, honestly, like I feel like I saw the flags and I knew them and I acknowledged them, but there's always this piece of me that like tries to see the good in somebody. So it's just like, maybe it's an off day, or maybe they'll change. That's me. But I can admit, like in my 20s and early 30s, I saw the flags. I didn't ignore them, but I also didn't take heed to them like I should have. And so I think that comes along with, just growth and where you are in life and just, figuring things out. But I saw the flags. I saw them.
I think you and Angel probably on the same tip, because Angel's super nice too. So I think y'all might be best friends.
I think Angel was going to answer.
Yeah, I was just going to say sometimes it is hard. And what that thing is, it's hope, because it's like you see the red flags. And I remember someone saying that you actually see the yellow ones, but for some reason we're the same ones that speed up to the yellow light. So I just feel, I think sometimes it gets a little difficult when you are, because they're always like, people will tell you like who they are, but you can't, they're always like, watch what the person does, don't listen to what they say. Watch what the person says, don't look at what they do. But that's kind of hard if someone's saying like, oh, I really like you, I really want to hang out with you, and I can't wait to see you, but then they choose to go maybe like out or something like that instead of like coming to hang. But then they do come hang with you like for part of the day, so you like kind of give them that little bit of extra. So I think that sometimes it's just you have that hope in, and I think we talked about this once before, that especially if you really like somebody, you have a tendency to give someone that you actually like that grace. But if it's someone that you don't like, the same thing that they might do, you're not gonna put up with. And really, the bottom line is you just don't like them. But yeah, I am guilty of that as well, Sheena.
Anybody else want to tap into this? Hey, the phone line's open too, guys. The phone line's open. Call in. Tonight's number is 803-412-0535. Tonight call-in number is 803-412-0535. Don't ask me what a call-off number change. Just call in. We want to hear from you guys. Anybody want to tap into this question we right now?
Yeah, I'll tap in real quick. It's not something from the past, but it's something that I'm more conditioning myself in the present. And it's like, if a man doesn't keep his word, then you're not worth my time. Because if you're not keeping, if you say that we're going to do something or go somewhere, and then it changes or it gets rescheduled and then it gets rescheduled again, then I'm not a priority. I'm not saying I need to be your main priority, but I've been taught and have learned over time that like, if a man is interested in you, or a man is going to spend time with something that they are interested in, whether that's their friends, playing basketball, going to the gym, or watching sports on TV. And if that person isn't into spending time with me, and quality time is something that's important to me in a relationship or in dating to get to know you, then I can just cut my losses at the beginning, because it's not what I need. And if you're not giving me what I need in the beginning or like building on something, then it's a no for me.
Again, the question was, what are some previous flaws you've seen in, other relationships? Anybody want to tap into this? Tap into the comments. Call in. What are some previous flaws you've seen, but you bypassed them in other relationships? Let us know because we might want to see them flaws and might be like, oh, help us out. Put us on game real quick. Anybody else want to tap into this? We're gonna keep on moving if y'all don't.
I think too, what's important is also like how the person addresses and talks about like other like women. So like there was a guy and I cannot stand that, bitch word. And it just seemed like if they were describing someone or someone pissed them off, and not just in women, but I've seen it in men, I've seen it in women too. Like I never could understand ever how someone could like call their children or people that they date, oh, this B or that MF or whatever. Those things are important to me. So if I'm listening to like a guy talk and he's addressing his child, his son as a little MFO or, talking crazy to his daughter, telling her, oh, this little B that or whatever. Like those are also like character flaws to me. I don't get with that at all. I don't know when bitch became a term of endearment for women because when I was growing up, it definitely was not. But yeah, so that's a thing for me too. And so I had a guy in my life at one point where it's like, if he was talking about, let me tell you what this B did. And I was like, oh, like if that's how you see people, to me, they got a name and I, they call them by that name or just, don't address them at all. So that's an issue for me.
I'm 100% with you, Kyra. Angel, that's a red flag for me too. If you calling your friend, the B word, I'm like, I don't like all that ghetto-ness. I don't like no ghetto actually. Like, I never know. I'm with you on that, Angel. When you're right, Angel, you're right. When I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. So we're gonna tap into another question unless somebody got something else on this. We're gonna tap into another one. Do y'all feel? I'm pretty sure I know everybody answering, but do y'all feel if somebody is constantly texting during a date and not giving you their undivided attention? Do y'all feel there's a flaw? And what would you do in this situation?
It's not a flaw to me. That's a red flag. That's stop. Do not go. Do not move forward. If I'm on a date with you and you texting the whole time, it's not your kids the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's not your job. That's another dude. So for me, I'm out. And I might sneak out the back door, pay the check on my way out, and just leave you sitting there texting. Because you're disrespecting me during our date. So I'm going to disrespect you and dip.
Yasmin, you quiet over there. Come on in here. Come into the room. The water's warm.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on what business this person is in. And I don't know. To me, that's a form of how everybody communicates now. I mean, and it depends on what we're doing in a date. A lot of people now they're boring. So texting is just letting you know. I mean, when Obi said he would dip, it's just letting you know that they're not interested. So I guess, just ending it. Hey, I can see that you're not interested and I feel the same. And that's pretty much it. I'm not about the ghosting, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not about that. I'm very much in your face. And I don't mean that in a ghetto way. I am very blunt. I'm very upfront. I don't leave you guessing. So when you deal with me, and you know exactly what you're dealing with. You're never going to be confused. So if I'm texting, I don't even think I would do that. I would just let you know I'm not interested and I'm going to go.
So if you're on a date with a guy and he's texting the whole time, you're going to be like, oh, he must not be interested. We can go right now.
It's not we. I'm gonna go. He can stay.
For me, I kind of think
Okay.
it would depend on the situation and like what the person is, their job. So if they have something and if they communicate at the beginning, like I have a deadline at work that I'm working on, so I'm gonna have to wrap a couple things up and then we'll be able to move on with the date, or then you'll have my full attention. Or if there's like a crisis or something that they're dealing with at work or with their family, then that is something that is understandable, which would definitely need to come with communication. For me, I would go through the date. I wouldn't like leave the date, but I would just like take the information and kind of put it in my pocket. And then if we had a conversation, I would ask about it to find out and then be able to make moves from there, I think. And
I agree.
likewise, I try to because sometimes I am on my phone and I try to like if I'm going somewhere or even if I'm riding in the car with someone, I try to be engaged in conversation with them and just not into my phone because I've gotten feedback from a friend like you are not fully here because you're texting and doing this and that, and so it's like we're spending time together but you're doing something else. And so I try to be, that's something that I'm personally working on, is just being in the here and now with the person and just focusing on that person that I'm spending quality time with at the moment.
Hey, before Kyra gonna throw out our next question, I'm gonna throw it back to Kyra because Obi, I don't know if you got anything, Kyra, but we're gonna throw it back to Kyra in a second. But before we get through that, y'all, everybody in the chat section right now to tell me if you're team Obi or you team Kyra. We need to see it right now. Right
He's
now they
never
they they being
won.
civil. They being
And
civil
Ed,
right now. But
you
if you team
posting
Obi,
for OB,
I didn't put that, Kyra. You put that. If you team Obi,
I
put
did
it in the
not put
chat.
that. You know I didn't type Obi. No.
If your team Obi, throw it in the chat. If your team Kyra, throw it in the chat. Again, the phone lines are open. We want to hear from you guys. 803-412-0535. Kyra about to throw out our next question out. Tell us if your team Obi, team Kyra, call us up. Go ahead, Kyra, it's on you.
All right. What are effective ways to communicate the other person's character flaws without being overly critical?
Hmm.
What are effective ways to communicate the other person's character flaws without being too critical? And I'll take a stab at answering it. I think that first and foremost, it's important to lean in to get that understanding of why things are how they are. So like in that scenario where they were texting, like I had a good time at dinner. I noticed that you were texting a lot. Tell me a little bit about that. Is that how things normally are for you? And that gives them the opportunity to open up about their work or their home or whatever is going on. Or if someone is constantly late, you know, I value your time and want to have my time valued. Do you think that we should give a 15-minute buffer or schedule a different time that might work more better for you? Ed, Ed then Angel.
Oh, so I think a way you can do it and say, are you really ready to date anyone? I see that your time seems limited. Um, are you sure that you're ready to, actually date someone? Are you trying to date with attention, or are you just chilling? Like I always say, or what's going on? Because I support anything you're doing right now, but it's feel like to me that your time is limited, and or you're not. You might got a lot of stuff going on. I try to throw a joke in there, try to be civilized with it because you said not be overcritical. So I'm thinking like,
Mm-hmm.
man, it seems like your time is short. So you're real busy. I throw a little joke in there with it. You sure
Right.
you ready to be out and date? I mean, it's cool if you ain't. No, saying whenever you up there, I'm here. I'm not really here, but I'll say that like I'm here. Whenever you hit me up, even though you out of there, I'm like hit me up.
Delete
I'm
block.
ready. And so I think that's effective. To me, Angel, you might have to say something different to me. I think that is effective way to do it. That's say like you seem busy. It's like right now you might got a lot going on, and you might be able to date right now. Job, kids, etc., etc. So it's all good. I ain't tripping. Let me know. Go ahead, Angel.
I think I was gonna say, kind of like what Kyra was talking about earlier, where I think that we all just have to have a clear definition of what we all think, because communication to one person is one way, and communication to another person is another way. And so, like where Kyra's like, I want to have phone time and in-person time, and the quality of time and being very intentional and focused. Maybe someone else is idea of communication is different than spending time. Maybe they think that is communicating by shooting you a text instead of picking up the phone and calling. And I guess everything is also to like within like understanding. So like for me, instance, like I'm a stylist, so I text you all day long. And if you send me a text, you're probably not going to hear from me for several hours. Like you guys know in the text thread, I'm always like 12 hours late to the conversation because my hands are busy. When I come home, I usually have like 50, 60 messages waiting to be answered. So I always tell people, if you want to talk to me, call me, because that's the quickest way to get an answer. But if you need something right now, call me. Don't text me, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to get it back. But in a relationship, I'm very intentional in a relationship. A lot of stuff I don't want to text, because I feel like, especially when it's matters of the heart, it shouldn't be text. It definitely should be a topic or a conversation. But I think the biggest thing I'm just trying to get at is that I just think that in a relationship early on, there are questions that we don't ask. When you meet somebody, we might need, instead of probably even getting to that date, we might need to ask those questions. What's the best way to communicate with you? They might say, oh, just shoot me a text or call me, or, and then that gives you an idea of what you might be like looking at. Or they might say, oh, well, when I'm at work, I can't really be on the phone. So I just think that it's really about getting an understanding of what their idea of communication is, and you'll know right off the bat if this is going to be a flaw, if it's going to work for you or not.
I like it. I'm gonna hit the chat real quick. I like this comment. If you use the word however instead of but, that will make what you say less harsh. For instance, I like when you do this, however, I don't like. Another person said, is there such a thing? People filter information based on how they view you. So you can critique happily and it still be taken the wrong way. And then another person said, Ed, why lie? It's obvious that their mind is not there. That should be the last date. Anything else is uncivilized. And then a person asked if there's anything for putting Team Obi or Team Kyra. It's just Obi getting his feelings hurt week after week. So you don't want to
be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear on this. And I'm going to hold my hand just like a fake presidential candidate holds his hands. You remind me of that person so much. You always speak fake news. You do. You never put out anything about me that's positive. You saw that comment, because I saw it when you starred the comments that you wanted to star. You never want to give me any credit. But I'm good, because the only thing I ever want to beat you at is spades.
That was so random.
I'm not even going to spend my energy.
Hey, I got another question for you guys, but I just want to ask the chat real quick, and then I'm going to read the next question. Why do y'all always pick Team Kyra? What is different between Kyra and Obi? Can y'all like elaborate that in the chat? I'm not picking sides. I really want to know. So while y'all think about that, why y'all pick Kyra over Obi, I'm going to read the next question for the panelists.
because I'm on point, I stay focused. I don't spout out random.
It's her cousins. It's all her cousins.
I
All her
stay
cousins.
factual and truth. I have people that support my thought process, and
Cousins.
why it doesn't matter who they are. Get your cousins on here so they'll put your name on, and they probably still wouldn't. They would still probably type my name. What's the question, Ann?
You know about this. I'm about to put this up for y'all.
People already put me,
I got to
and
calm y'all
Ed
down.
will put Obi.
All right. So next question is: are flaws signs that a person probably can't have a healthy relationship? Are many flaws they have, like not just one little flaw. They have like maybe have like several flaws. Are those signs that that person may not be able to have a healthy relationship?
Could you repeat that?
Um, are many flaws? Are they signs that a person probably can't have healthy relationship?
Mm.
A healthy relationships.
Go ahead, Angel.
I was just gonna say, I don't know necessarily. I mean, maybe it's just not, it's unhealthy for you and them. Maybe you guys just don't match. I guess it kind of reminds me of like love languages, you know, if people can't speak to them, then they just may not be your person. And so what we might consider, what might be a flaw for me might not be a flaw for Sheena, or Kyra. So I think that it's just kind of like a personal thing. So when you ask like if it many flaws, so if a person got a lot of things that you're like, ooh, I don't like when you do that. Oh, I don't like that, you know, then no, that's not your person, and you probably should just move on for them. But somebody else might be like, oh, I love the fact that, you know, he don't be bothered what I'm doing all day, and he just want to text, and I can be gone for 12 hours, and I ain't got to talk to them. So it's different things work for different people. So, you know, it's kind of like those people who have two separate rooms. It's like, it's not happening in my house. But for some people, they okay to have their own bedrooms and sleep in their own beds at night. So I just think it's a personal preference more or less than just saying that they're unhealthy, that to date them is unhealthy.
Go ahead, Sheena.
So I also agree with that statement that Angel made as well. And I also think that there's some flaws that require more attention, because it might be something that's like deeper, like more internal, like past childhood trauma, where they need to have those things resolved before they can properly move forward in a thriving and healthy relationship. So I agree, but I think there are also some flaws that have to be addressed, just to see if there are any underlying factors. But I think those are important things to note.
Yeah, for me, if you have a ton of different flaws, then to me it seems like more of a project, and I'm only interested in like crafting projects, not people projects. And I don't have the energy to take that on, where I think that exercising grace is great, and having empathy and putting yourself in their shoes to understand how they're feeling, and but just like constantly like, oh, I don't like when he does this, and when he does that it kind of irks me, and it really annoys me when he does or says this. Like, that's too much. I want easy breezy. Not that there's not going to be conflict, but I want healthy conflict. Um, and not that I'm perfect, because I'm sure that someone might see some things that I do as flaws as well. But I want there to be like good communication that flows. I don't want it to be a job to have to work on getting along with you.
Anybody else want to tap into this one? So I'm gonna name off a few things that could be flaws, red flags, whatever you have, and tell me you guys if you agree with some of these things. Addiction, violent behavior, mismatched goals. I don't know, mismatched goals would be a flaw because our goals are not the same. But we'll keep going. Jealousy and distrust, infidelity, control nature, crazy exes. Can't control a crazy ex. That have nothing to do with you. Or the ex is crazy. No friends. That could be a flaw. Like, why you got no friends? Smothering behavior, lack of emotional intimacy, gaslighting, love bombing. Don't know what that means. Love bombing. Um, breadcrumbing, name calling and insults, and lack of boundaries. What do you think about that list?
Uh, breadcrumbing, definitely.
What is that? What
What
does
is
that mean?
What is
breadcrumbing?
that? I don't know what breadcrumbing is.
Just giving you a little bit, just kind of lingering, stringing you along, just giving you a little bit,
Oh.
you know,
Hmm.
you like them more than they, and they'll give you a little bit of this and a little bit, oh, okay. If you like phone calls,
Mm.
he'll call you every blue moon, give you a small conversation. That's breadcrumbing.
Oh. I never heard that
Mm.
terminology before.
And that's all in the form of narcissism and everything like that.
Mm. Obi, did you know that comment? That that terminology?
Anyway, Ed, I think the first two items that you listed, along with controlling and gaslighting, what Kyra does, red flags to me. You couldn't remember all of them, but those first two, controlling and Kyra, yeah, red flags. And
Addiction stood out to me. Oh, sorry, Obi, you weren't done talking.
not good.
Addiction stood out to me, and also like depending on what their past was, like if they're a gangbanger, um, or came from a certain type of lifestyle, uh, I'm not interested in being part of that. Like I don't want to constantly be watching over my shoulder or unsure of my safety, not knowing if someone has beef with you. And that also kind of ties into the violent behavior, like being able to see how they react if they are very confrontational, whether it's with the waitress or if someone bumped into them. That's something that I don't want any part of.
Oh, we got two more questions real quick. I think this is a really good question, guys. I want everybody to tap into it if you can. How do you identify if a character flaw is a temporary issue or part of a large pattern of behavior? I think that's a really good question. How do you identify if a character flaw is temporary issue or part of a large pattern of behavior?
I think that depends on the patience of whoever is receiving it and the temperament of how it's given off. Um, it depends on what you want. Again, what you see as a red flag.
And I kind of agree with Yasmin. I think that can be understood best over time. You're not gonna see the flaw and figure out what you can do or how you can fix it until like 3 or 4 dates or months or whatever. I don't think it's something that you can repair immediately. Because I think, well, as men, we have to observe it, figure out if we want to deal with it, and then figure out how to try to fix it.
I think that the frequency of it has a lot to determine it because if it's something that happens once in a blue moon or something that happened on the first date and we're 10 dates in and I haven't seen that behavior exhibited again, as opposed to it happening every other Tuesday or every other weekend. And
I feel that if we're on the say we're on a bowling date or some kind of date like that, and you get upset if you're losing or you show some masculine energy, I think that would be like a pattern. Like, okay, what's wrong with you? Like, we just having a simple, we having fun, we're bowling, we shooting pool, and you get mad because you're losing or something like that. Like, anyway, if
mhm.
it's a guy getting mad or if it's a woman getting mad, like really over bowling, over pool, I think it might be something more serious down the line if you're getting upset about something so small like that. Like anything else can be changed. You got dirty shoes, of course, you can wear next day. You was at work, clean shoes. But if you get mad about something so simple, um, why didn't you text me when I got home? Make sure I got home safe. Like, dang, like, why you getting like my bad? If you getting so, I think Sheena might mention this earlier. I think in her conversation when she's talking about the guy. I think that might be something that might be a pattern of behavior later on. If you get so mad about something that's so small, that's my take on that.
So yeah, it depends on how you're receiving things. It might be small to you, but it could be something big to them, you know. And again, it depends on how long the relationship has been going on and things like that. I mean, we haven't even set the tone. Are we talking about the emphases of relationships? Are we talking about long-term relationships? How many dates are we into these relationships?
I think we're talking about like the first couple of dates, so you can see if it's a pattern for the long
Yeah.
haul. Like you see when you see the first couple of dates, like, dang, is this who she really is, or this who he really is? Because come on, we already know at the first couple of days, we already know, like, wait a minute, like Yasmin got it. God, she got all this masculine energy on the first 2 days. Like that might be who Yasmin is. That to me, that's what I would think of the first 2 dates. Or Yasmin's sweet as pie. She is too nice off the first couple of dates because we gonna show who they are to me the first couple of dates. So if you angry, we go bowling and then you getting real mad because you lost on even the first date. I'm like, damn, it's bowling. Like, really? Or we lazy tagging and I'm like, oh man, I won. I got the most kills. And you mad about that for real, man? Like, B, it's lazy tag. Like, come on. So I think it might be some kind of underlying issues. If that clears everything, Yasmin, if that makes sense to you. I don't know.
I'll hit the comments before we go on to the last question. It depends on how you define flaws. Incompatibility doesn't always equal someone who isn't able to be in a healthy relationship. They just may not be your person and you may not be theirs. Another person said consistency is what will make it consistency is what will make it a problem. And then another person said if you allow someone to breadcrumb you, you deserve it. You are the one that keeps giving them the cheat code to do any which way but right. Got some facts being spit in the chat.
Can you read that last one again?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. If you allow someone to breadcrumb you, you deserve it. You're the one that keeps giving them the cheat codes to do you any which way but right.
Do y'all agree with that? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on that one. Oh, what you think,
What's
Obi?
your conflict?
Because it's like you said they're giving you breadcrumb. And Yasmin, can you explain that again for us? Breadcrumbing. Can you explain that one more time?
Breadcrumbing only really happens when someone likes someone more than the other. That can only happen then. You're not going to get breadcrumb if he's all right to you, you know what I'm saying, or she's all right to you. You can leave it alone. But when you really like somebody, they can, and they don't like you the same way, they can definitely breadcrumb you. You know, like she said, she wants phone calls. He can give her a phone call, probably have a decent conversation that can, give her excitement, and then he'll pull away and start texting again. That's breadcrumb.
That's what I thought. So so she said that I deserve it. Why do I deserve to be breadcrumb? Like, what did I do to be breadcrumb? That's the comment said.
She's saying that a person is you teach somebody how to treat you. And if you accept someone treating you a certain way, leading you on, breadcrumbing, putting the carrot in front of your face, whatever you want to call it, if you put up with that, then that is on you because you're the person that has the ability to change it. If it's something that's not working for you and you remove yourself from the situation, then that's the end. But if you allow yourself to continue to be strung along and to continue to be breadcrumbed, well, then that's on you because you know what's up and you're letting them continue to do that to you.
Okay. Well, I got one more. Go ahead.
A lot of people get breadcrumb when they're in relationships because it's just like familiarity breeds contempt. People get so familiar with somebody and then they start acting a certain way, and you want that person to come back to the way that you used to like them. So they'll give you this, probably take you out on a nice date, but then go back to the same person. It happens majority of the time when you're in the relationship already.
Mm. And to me, it has like manipulation vibes in it. And I've seen, well, I've been in relationships and seen where there's an issue with the person that they're not doing something that is working, or that's not what I like. And so temporarily they will fix the problem to like satisfy me or to pacify me. But then 3 months later, we're having the exact same conversation. So it wasn't really in you to change, because like the care or the whatever isn't enough, that you are seeking to actually change how you move in this relationship. It's just enough to pacify me for now until it comes up again in the future.
Okay, we about to get out of here on this. I'm sorry, somebody said that. Somebody got something else to add. So before we get out here, everybody that's in the chat section right now, click like and share this video. We appreciate you guys right now. Hit the click like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We got one last question for these ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna get out of here. So this is a kind of self-reflection question. So it's about yourself. How can I recognize and work on my own character flaws to improve my dating relationships? Again, how can I recognize and work on my own character flaws to improve my dating relationships? And I'll take a stab at it first. I don't think I have any relationship flaws.
You text all the time. You want me to make a list for you? You want me to text that to you, email it to you? I can put it in the chat. What you want? What you need?
I don't have no dating relation. The flaws, like I do what I need to do. Go. Besides the one that everybody said is conflicted, because Angel's on my side a little bit. Besides the, I guess, over communicating. Like I don't know if I have any dating flaws, per se. You know, I organize a date. I make sure I know where we're going. That's a little hard for me because I never did that back in the past, but now I'm doing it more. I had a conversation with a young lady, I'm gonna mention her name. And I said, you know what? I'm learning how to do this. Really, in Carolina, figuring out this Carolina place. I if we want to meet up there, I make sure I pay for everything, make sure everything's set up nice, make sure the conversation, I'm engaged in the young lady. So I don't know if I got any dating flaws. I don't know. Kyrie, send me the list of my flaws I get, I guess. I don't know if I have
I'll
any
text
dating
you.
flaws. Text me the list. Go ahead.
You can text me mine if you would like to share.
Kyrie, you don't want nobody. You don't want to date nobody. That's your flaws.
I'm open to dating people. I'm accepting applications.
Blind date. Kyrie gonna be on here, Angel. You heard it
No,
here
I'm
first.
not. No, I'm not. I'm not blind dating people, but I'm accepting applications.
She in the house. You got anything? She in the D?
I mean, these are like previous things that I have addressed internally. It's just knowing that like I can't save everybody. I think I'm that type of person that's tries to heal everybody that I'm in a relationship with, and I can't do that at the deficit of myself. That's something that they have to work on internally. So that is a flaw that I have worked on within myself for years, and I'm now at a place where I'm not Captain Saberho. I just can't be that person. I can't put aside my wants, my needs, my desires, my goals at the deficit of somebody else. So that those are things that I have been self-aware of and that I have worked on, over the years. For me, it's a lot. Yeah, you can't be nice to everybody. You have to be stern in relationships at times. You have to put your foot down on what you are going to accept and what you aren't going to accept. And if that person can't respect that, then as they've said in the comments and we've said all night, that's not your person. And just being okay with that and moving on.
Sheena, give us your last final thoughts because we're getting out of here on this question. Your final thoughts for the night.
My final thoughts. Be open to looking and receiving and acknowledging flaws. Acknowledge them, address them, open communication. Um, yeah, those are my wrap ups.
Thank you, Sheena House. Sheena D, y'all. Sheena D. Yasmin, what you got on this last one?
Um, First, let's go into a relationship or situations or dating with loving ourselves and knowing what we want before we even get there. You got a lot of people that's just dating for fun, and I'm at an age to where it can be fun, but it can be intentional as well. Um, and also knowing your boundaries. I think a lot of people are loose with their boundaries. So that's pretty much it.
Yasmin, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is love yourself, stay true to yourself, and make sure you I don't know.
So Yasmin, before Angel go, if I say I am just chilling, is that loving myself? If I'm telling, if I'm telling, Kyra, stop.
Are you chilling
If
like
I'm telling,
Martin Lawrence? Are you
if I'm
watching
telling people the truth, if I'm telling people the truth, like right now I'm not on nothing. I'm just chilling. That's loving myself, right? That's not a
That's
flaw,
loving
right?
yourself. But that's also depending on who you're speaking with, because you might meet someone who is dating intentionally, who wants a relationship, and she's not just chilling. So you could be wasting her time,
So is it wasting time if I tell her up front like I'm just chilling? It's not wasting her time, right?
because then she can decide if she wants to deal with you or not.
Exactly. Angel, what you got?
My final thoughts. I have two things. One is I agree with Sheena. The other thing is that I think that as we're looking for what we're looking for in someone else, we have to make sure that we're caring for ourselves that same manner. So if we say like, "Oh, I want someone that cares for my heart," we got to be sure that we're caring for our heart. Um, and we can't expect someone else to treat us better than we treat ourselves. The other thing is that you were like, what do you do? Or you think about your flaws. And so we have to get into the habit of asking questions. A lot of times we don't ask questions because we don't really want to know the answers because we don't really want to change. And so sometimes you can ask someone, it might an ex or someone you might have talked to, and saying, hey, like, what can I do to change? Because you've never been. I mean, I've never been a boyfriend before, so or a girlfriend to myself, and so I need to be able to ask someone else, like, "Hey, I'm going to ask you this question. I really need you to be honest because I'm ready to receive this. What things do you see that might be flaws or I might be blindsided by?" So, if you really want to be better and do better, you got to ask the right questions and people that you really trust and whose opinions that you value, uh, that will help you with that. So it's my thing.
So Angel, is that your final thought for the night?
And that's my final thought.
So if me telling people I'm just chilling, is that a flaw?
You were gonna ask each person that? Oh my gosh, we're not doing that. Who's next?
No, I don't think that that's a flaw. I just think you got to be specific and you have to be at the same page because you can't. I mean, you got to say what come with that. You can't say I'm just chilling, but I want all things that look like relationship. If you chilling, you're gonna have to chill. Find somebody else that's in that chill space with you.
Thank you, Angel.
You don't have dirty shoes.
Obi, what you got, Obi?
I'll go quick, man. I know we were trying to get up out of here. I'll just say, know yourself before you get involved in a situation. Know what your worth is and know what you want, and be blunt and transparent with it.
Kyra.
For me, one thing I'm working on is my I think you asked the question, what is something that you're working on? Question mark. I think you did. I don't know.
Yes, yes,
Um,
ma'am.
okay, so for me, I'm working on like being judgmental, like really quick to snip it with the scissors. Um, and sometimes I don't want to say looking for a reason, but sometimes reasons creep up. So I think being understanding, but not to the point of being ignorant. Um, and just giving some grace. Yeah, those are some things that I'm working on myself. And then final thoughts, I want to say thank you to Sheena and to Yasmin for being on the show tonight. Definitely appreciated the conversation and dialogue, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for
Kyra.
having me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Mhm.
Well, like always, we always have to try to find the best guests, even though sometimes we laugh and joke, but we always try to have serious, real conversations. And we just want to talk about flaws tonight. So if ever you see some flaws, you'll know what they is or know what they are. And some flaws are permanent, maybe, and some flaws can be fixable. Like somebody said in the on the panel, it just depends on if you want to deal with them or depends on the person. So before you just X somebody out, like I joke around, but before you really X somebody out, find out if you really date them with attention or you really want to get to know them off their dirty shoes or off their one little flaw they have. Dive a little deep into it unless you're not really interested. If you're not interested, let that person go. Don't hold on to him. I mean, we had a guy on here that was still married and that's holding on to his wife for dear life, and they weren't even living in the same house. Let that woman go. Let that man go, and work on yourself. And if you don't have no flaws, it's okay. You don't have no flaws. It's all right. If you do have flaws, like Angel said, figure out what they are. Find your accountability partner and work on yourself. And if we all can do a little self healing. We all can be better. We try to be better. Even on this podcast, we're trying to do better. We're trying to bring better to you guys. We're trying to bring back healthy communication. We're trying to lessen the divorce rates. We're trying to be more positive in a negative world. This world is kind of negative, so we're trying to bring more positivity to a negative world. Um, if you'd like to be on next week's show, you can reach out to myself on Facebook at Edmund Chapman, or you can reach out to I'm sorry, it's right on the screen. I'm sorry, Kyra. You can
I'm
reach
putting it
out
there.
to
You're putting it.
I'm sorry, Kyra, or you can reach out to Sheena Nicole if you'd like to be on next week's topic. Next week, I think we're gonna be talking about these people that's gaining a little bit of weight, and we wondering why. I think we're gonna be talking about that next week. Why do people gain a little bit of weight and they don't care about it? Because I cared about the little bit of weight I gained. So if you want to be on next week's topic, reach out to Sheena Nicole or myself, Edmund Chapman. Also, we're looking for sponsors. Kyra, throw that up. We're looking for sponsors. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can hit again up to Sheena Nicole on Facebook, or you can email me at eddieed30@gmail.com if you'd like to sponsor the podcast. And last but not least, Angel said it earlier, date 'em or ditch 'em. Come on, y'all. We talking about love, and we talking about be for real, y'all. Don't come on this show playing around, joking around. Like if you really looking for real love, and you're not out there chilling, you're not there to be a player. You really looking for love. Come on our show. Angel gonna have us right. We're gonna be vetting the people for real. She ain't playing with it. We gonna have the right guys for you. We're gonna have the right ladies for you. Come on our show. Hit up me, Edmund Chapman, again, or Sheena Nicole if you'd like to be on the Datum Edition show, which would be coming out in August. All right. And with that being said, Kyra, what my theme music? Like I say every single week, I love you. God love you.
I think my baby hot. Don't speak to any moment. Product of her environment. Shout out the global woman. Came